Hi there and welcome back to Yum Paleo. My name is Jack and today I'm going to be making a lovely creamy mushroom soup. So I'll just run through the prep that I did beforehand. I've got a pound of portobello mushrooms here which I've chopped up into, I've just sliced up pretty much, so we're going to be adding them into the pan with some oil. Got 2 cloves of garlic here which I've cut up, 1 white onion, you can use red onion as well, which I've just cut up as well, so that will all be going into the pan. And once they're kind of like sauteed and stuff, we're going to add them into a pot with I've got 2 cups of chicken stock here. You can use vegetable stock as well, but I've gone for chicken stock today. And then that's going to be blended together. Then once that's blended, I'm going to be adding, I've got about 1 3/4 cups of coconut cream here. Then that'll be added in with some, I'm going to be adding the thyme leaves in as well, just to like add some flavour and some salt and pepper. Now I also had some shiitake mushrooms, some dry ones that I had left over, so I had about a handful of those. And what I did, I just put them in a bowl with some hot water for about 20 minutes, then drained it, and they're going to be going into the mix with these portobello mushrooms as well. So if you have any leftover mushrooms, it doesn't matter if they're not portobello, you can just chuck them in and it'll be fine. Now at the end I'm going to add some squeeze of lemon and put some parsley into it as well. So to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up this pan here. I'm going to put a dash of olive oil into it. And the mushrooms take a bit of, they soak up some of that olive oil, so just wait for that to come up to heat. I'm just going to turn on this pan behind me as well, because we've got quite a lot of mushrooms here. They're not all going to fit into this pan, so I'm just going to do it in 2 batches and then put them all together at the end. Okay, so I'm just going to add some oil to this one in the back as well. Then once they're hot enough, we can start to chuck the mushrooms in. Just going to get a spatula so I can mix them about. Great, so I'm just going to transfer some mushrooms into this pan. Watch it, it's going to be very hot. And then just move them around, creating space for more to go in. Okay, so just take your time with this step. You can do it in batches if you want, if you've only got 1 pan, as there's a lot of mushrooms in this recipe. Then what I'm going to do behind me actually is add the onions in first. Just make sure you get all those out. Then as soon as they are sauteed, I'm going to add some garlic in as well. Great, so once the onions go like translucent, then we can I'm going to chuck some of the garlic in, and then I'm going to add the rest of the mushrooms into that pan. And because the mushrooms, they reduce in size as well, you can just move them about and then keep adding the other mushrooms in. And if you feel like you need to add more oil, then feel free to just chuck some more in. So just keep an eye on all your ingredients, and then once you're happy with your mushrooms, we can get them out and add them to a pot. Okay, so I'm just going to add the garlic to the pan behind me. Make sure you get it all out. Great. Okay, so I'm going to add the rest of my mushrooms to this pan now. Just mix it all up. And just keep an eye on these ones. Now if you're only using one pan, that's great. You can just stick in one place and not have to worry about using multiple pans, but no, these are cooking it really nice now. You can even break them down with your spatula or whatever utensil you're using. As well, what I'm going to do is add some thyme into this. So a nice serving in there. Some thyme there. I'm using dried thyme leaves. You can use fresh ones, which may be better. But it's just whatever you can get your hands on, really. Great, so these are starting to cook really nicely now. Let's check the ones behind me. And I'm going to also add the shiitake mushrooms that I had from before. So just work those in. Like I said, if you've got any other mushrooms lying about, just chop them up, chuck them in, and it'll be great. That's a really good thing about soups. You can just, as long as they stick to the kind of soup that you're going with, like a mushroom soup, you can just chuck any kind of mushrooms you've got, really. I'm actually going to add a bit of salt and pepper into it as well now. So this is sea salt I'm using, and just some freshly ground black pepper. Then in a minute we're going to take these out. I'm going to put them in this pot with some of the chicken stock, and then I'm just going to blend it here with, it's got a hand blender here, so. Then once that's done, I'm going to add the coconut cream. Maybe just keep whizzing it up as well. And then put it onto some heat behind me, just to let it all mix in those lovely flavours. Okay, so I think we are ready now to put the mushrooms into the pan with the chicken stock and start blending up. So just going to grab this pan here, this pot, sorry. And I'm just going to move everything. Make sure you get it all out. And then just transfer what's from this pan into there as well. Brilliant. So now what I'm going to do is just add that 2 cups of chicken stock into here. And just give it a little mix up. So what I'm going to do is just put the blender in and start blending. Oh. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to chop up a bit of this parsley to chuck in as well, and then I'm going to garnish it with some at the end as well. Should just take some of the stalks off. Let's get a few more. Right, and then just sprinkle the parsley in. And just give it another little whiz through. Okay, so it's quite a thick soup as well, so if you want it a bit thinner, then you can add either more stock or some more coconut cream. But I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm just going to heat it on the pot behind me. Might just add a bit more salt and pepper as well, so yeah, so I'm just going to heat this up for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready to dish up, so I'll catch you soon. Okay, so welcome back. Now I've left the soup on for 10 minutes and I just dished up a bowl here. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of decoration there with some parsley. And there you go, a lovely paleo creamy thick mushroom soup. I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you here for another recipe. See you soon.